everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going deep into a story about a guy named Rob and his adventures working on the Queen Elizabeth II.
The QE2.
Yeah, a classic. We'll be focusing on his second seagoing maintenance journey
Oh, wow.
as he travels to join the QE2 and experiences life on board.
So cool. It's amazing to think about the contrast between the luxury above deck and all the hard work going on below to keep things running.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll see that play out in Rob's story, especially as he navigates both the demanding engine room and the allure of the ship's glamorous ports.
Exactly. So Rob is fresh off his first seagoing maintenance trip. He's back in Cardiff, working a pretty routine gig on the MV Hillia, a cargo ship owned by Shell.
Oh.
And then out of the blue, he gets this call asking if he wants to go on another SGM.
Wow.
This time it's solo.
Oh, wow.
No familiar faces from his previous trip.
So this is where the adventure really takes off.
Right.
Traveling solo adds that extra layer of excitement and maybe a little apprehension as he embarks on this new journey.
Yeah, so he sets off from Cardiff, hops on a train to London Gatwick to catch his flight the next day. And he has to stay overnight in an airport hotel.
Ah, the perks of traveling on expenses.
Right. Plush airport hotel life.
Nice.
Those little details add such a human element to the story.
Absolutely.
The next morning, he flies from Gatwick to Barcelona. A ship agent greets him and takes him to the docks. And remember, the last gig was on a cargo ship.
Right.
Imagine his awe when he sees the Queen Elizabeth II.
Oh, yeah. What a contrast. It must have been a breathtaking sight. The QE2, the symbol of luxury and grandeur looming over him.
Yeah, it's almost like stepping into a different world.
For sure.
But even on a luxury ocean liner, the engine room is still the engine room. It's a world of intense heat and constant noise and demanding work.
Right.
Rob even mentions the section they call Death Valley.
Oh, wow.
Because it was so hot.
It's a reminder that behind all the luxury, there's a crew working tirelessly in challenging conditions.
Yeah. It's not all champagne and caviar.
No, not at all.
But amidst the tough work there is camaraderie. Rob runs into some fellow workers from Cardiff.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And he realizes a good number of them are also from Cardiff.
Oh, that's great.
So that must have felt like a little piece of home in this huge ship.
Absolutely. Finding those connections makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Especially in a demanding environment.
Like a support system.
Yeah.
Sharing some banter and humor.
For sure.
Amidst all the heat and noise of the engine room.
Right. Well, let's move on to Rob's experiences beyond the engine room.
Okay.
The QE2 is famous for its stops at amazing ports, and his journey took him to captivating destinations in the Mediterranean.
That's right. Up next, we'll follow Rob as he explores Naples, Palermo, and Lisbon, all while balancing his work with a bit of sightseeing and local experiences.
It'll be fascinating to see how he navigates those two worlds.
Stay tuned. As we delve deeper into Rob's adventures on the QE2, it's a unique glimpse into the workings of this iconic vessel and the people who kept her sailing.
Looking forward to it. Okay, so let's follow Rob as he steps off the QE2 into these captivating Mediterranean ports.
Right.
First up, Naples, Italy.
Naples.
Oh.
I can practically smell the pizza.
Oh, yeah.
So picture this Rob on his lunch break.
Okay.
Finds himself in the heart of Naples.
Yeah.
And instead of, heading back to his bunk, he decides to make the most of it.
Yeah, I bet those brief moments ashore were precious for crew members like Rob. A chance to escape the ship and experience these vibrant port cities.
Right. And he doesn't waste any time either.
No.
He manages to squeeze in some sightseeing.
Yeah.
Grabs a classic Neapolitan pasta dish.
Nice.
And even enjoys a local beer, all within his lunch break.
Wow, talk about efficiency.
Right.
He's not just there to work, he's really soaking it all in.
Totally. And that adventurous spirit continues in Palermo, Sicily. Again, during his lunch break, Rob heads out to explore the area around the port.
It's like he has an internal clock ticking,
Yeah.
reminding him to seize every moment.
Yeah, for sure. And then, just when you think it can't get any better, the QE2 docks in Lisbon, Portugal.
Oh, Lisbon.
And Ryan gets a surprise, a half day off work.
Wow.
He decides to explore the city with a couple of his coworkers.
Nice.
Now, Lisbon is a city brimming with history and culture, a place that could easily sweep you away with its charm.
It's a classic traveler's dilemma,
Yeah.
Do you see all the historical sites or just enjoy the atmosphere?
Yeah.
Linger at a local cafe or pub.
Right. And being Rob, he admits that he might have spent a bit too much time enjoying the local bars with his colleagues and not enough time taking in the sights.
Well, it's relatable.
Yeah.
Those moments of spontaneous fun can be just as memorable as, checking off every item on a sightseeing list.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder what stories and laughs were shared in those Lisbon pubs.
Yeah, for sure.
But the journey continues. And Rob has one more stop before heading back to the UK.
Okay.
Next up, Gibraltar.
Gibraltar.
Now, Gibraltar held a surprise for Rob.
Oh, really?
He had never been there before, and he was struck by how much the main street resembled a typical British street.
Interesting.
He even mentioned seeing those iconic red telephone boxes.
Oh, wow.
And police officers in familiar uniforms.
So it must have felt like a strange blend of the familiar and the exotic.
Yeah.
Being so far from home, yet encountering these little reminders of Britain.
Yeah, it's those unexpected moments that often make a trip so memorable.
I agree.
But after Gibraltar, the focus shifts back to work as they make their way towards Southampton.
Okay.
And sadly, that's where Rob's time on the QE2 comes to an end. He says farewell to that majestic liner and his colleagues and heads back to Cardiff with a few of his workmates.
So we followed Rob from the engine room to the streets of Naples, Palermo, and Lisbon.
Yeah.
It's been a journey of contrasts.
For sure.
The hard work and the camaraderie, the routines and the moments of exploration.
It really gives you a unique perspective on what it takes to keep a ship like the QE2 running.
Yeah.
It's easy to get swept up in the glamour and luxury, but Rob's story reminds us that there's a whole other world behind the scenes.
Absolutely. As we wrap up this deep dive, we're left to wonder what adventures lie ahead for Rob.
Yeah.
Did he continue his seafaring journeys, or did he chart a new course on land?
So we left Rob heading back to Cardiff.
Back to familiar ground.
Yeah, it's always interesting to think about how these experiences shape someone, after weeks of demanding work and travel.
Yeah.
Returning home must feel both grounding and a bit surreal.
Right, like stepping back into everyday life.
Yeah.
But you've been changed by what you've seen and done.
Exactly. So Rob disembarks the QE2 in Southampton, says goodbye to that grand ship and his colleagues, and makes his way back to Cardiff.
Okay.
Some of his workmates.
Yeah.
And that's where his story, at least this chapter, comes to a close.
It's okay sometimes the most compelling stories leave us with a sense of wonder,
Yeah.
Invite us to imagine what might have come next.
I like that it's like Rob's journey sparks our own curiosity. Did he continue working on ships?
Yeah.
Maybe seeking out even more incredible destinations?
Right.
Or did he decide to pursue a different path altogether?
Yeah.
We're left to ponder those possibilities.
Exactly. It's a good reminder that everyone has a story, a unique collection of experiences that shapes who they are. And sometimes we only get a glimpse into one chapter.
Yeah. But even that glimpse, that snapshot of Rob's time on the QE2 has given us some real insights. We saw that contrast between the glamour of the liner and the reality of the engine room.
For sure.
We witnessed his passion for exploring new places.
Right.
Even during those short breaks. And we saw the camaraderie with his fellow workers, a bond forged in the heat and noise of that engine room.
It's been a journey of contrasts.
Yeah.
And connections, the demanding work, the vibrant ports, the shared experiences that create those bonds.
Yeah, it makes you think about all the unseen hands that make these voyages possible.
It really does.
Next time you see a picture of a luxurious cruise ship, think of Rob and his colleagues working hard below deck.
Right.
To keep everything running smoothly.
Keeping it all going.
Yeah. It's a reminder that behind every grand spectacle, every seemingly effortless experience, there's a lot of hard work and dedication and unseen contributions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, let's take that thought with us. Appreciate those unseen efforts that shape our world. And maybe let it inspire us to embark on our own adventures.
I love that. Well said.
Thanks.